Our goal is to make sure that Michigan is a place where all children have the opportunity to thrive.
From birth, my mother struggled with substance abuse, and she was also a prostitute. My father was also, at the time, in prison. And so when I was born already with a slash across my back.
My first foster home, I was placed in a home, abusive home, that I was constantly getting raped in and getting abused constantly every day. When I was 12 years old, I finally got enough of it, and I fought my way out of the house. So she got tired of me fighting her, so she turned me into Orchard Children's Services.
If a child lives with approval, he learns to live with himself. And this is a quote by Dorothy Law Nolte. And I would just like to share that in my home, I didn't live with approval. I lived with disappointment and was very emotionally beaten down all the time.
Like a lot of the children have said, they've been abused in many different ways, so have I. I've lived in a home where, again, I wasn't able to eat. There were refrigerators full of food, freezers, deep freezers, and they have locks on them. You cannot eat. I've stood in corners for hours at a time. I've been sexually abused by a number of people, and it's to the point where mentally I can't even remember. Not only that, it took for me to have the same experience in college for me to even go to counseling and discover that it had even happened. I'm sorry, this is just so hard. I haven't been to this place in so long. I haven't felt this way in so long.
No one was there to make sure I went to school or did my homework. Nobody cared. So eventually I skipped. I didn't do my work. I tried to kill myself. And look where it got me.
And I'm simply up here just hoping that kids in my disposition learn better ways to cope with higher standards, with higher academic standards in schools. And the teachers to do their job and go that extra mile, go that extra stride, and make higher strides, better strides to help them succeed.
My senior year, I got a call from the University of Michigan. I barely filled out the application because I didn't even know what a university was. My dreams was to be a cosmetologist. That was it. That was my gift. That's what I like to do. That was my therapy. So I said, why don't I have therapy every day and just do people's hair? Then I get to make people feel good about themselves. So I've always had this innate nature of making sure that I change people and help people in their lives. So I did not know what that meant, though. I just thought, hey, just doing hair. So what I come to realize is that I got a call from the University of Michigan. And the lady was crying and said, you know what, I just want to welcome you to the University of Michigan because you are now Wolverine. We read your essay and we are so touched by what you have done in your life and things of that nature. And I remember the essay because it was talking about solid gold and how it was refined and from an ugly rock to a wonderful shimmering gold rock. And I stayed grounded in what I wanted, my true values that I had to create by myself. And so I entered into the University of Michigan on a full-ride scholarship.
Until this day, all I want to do is help. I'm tired of sitting back, watching people get hurt, get abused, anything. I even took in a couple of my friends because their parents were abusing them. And we called CPS, and CPS didn't do nothing. They always gave them back to their parents. And I'm tired of sitting back and just watching everything happen. We need to make a difference.
I feel like people should address that to their kid. Like, they should talk to their kid, let them know, like, if they need anything, like, they're there for them. Because I know kids right now that have just switched to all types of drugs, some that are dead because nobody was willing to talk to them. My grandmother was one, she was She was a person that if she saw you on your knees crying, she would pick you up, hug you, tell you it'd be all right. I think more people should be like that.
Because a lot of times when we come into the system, whether it be the education system, whether it be the child welfare system or any system, family system, we always come in not knowing. We come in vulnerable, period. Because we're looking for somebody to take care of us. We don't know yet. We're still learning. And that's what adulthood is, practicing what we've been taught. So if you have been taught pretty much not to be productive, to run away from everything, not to face your fears, not to face and not know how to get security, when you come into it as an adult, what are you going to do? The same things. You're going to run away from the problems. You're not going to know how to take care of yourself successfully. You're not going to know the values of education and family if you came from a dysfunctional family. And so what I'm challenging for all of us to listen to these kids is to understand that they come from a disadvantage, which now we want to change those disadvantages into advantages.
This is something that you guys should be listening to and understanding that there is obviously something really, really wrong. That we all have to continue to experience these experiences.